I've been catching up with Killer for probably close to, you know, eight or 9 years now. G'day, mate. How are you? You too. How you going?
The ground was pretty hard, and it felt like my feet were burning, literally on fire. That's how I guess firm it was.
Have a look at this. Head contact. Oh, that is horrible.
Simpkins got himself up to his feet. Oh, it's a shocker, that is.
No.
I thought he was knocked out. I must say, I thought you'd have to assume the worst, and I thought at no time would this bloke come up.
Oh,
That is a car crash.
that is absolutely terrible. A dead-on head clash.
Unfortunately, when he hit the ground, he didn't move, and that gave a perception of him being in a coma.
Remus has not moved.
The problem was that he lay down, and perception's reality to people watching. It looked bad. I mean, if I was watching that, I'd say, how the hell's he back on?
Fine, but they must be sure that he's giving good communication with them.
Okay.
And if they think he's steady, and he's obviously talking to them because he's awake.
He's got a very severe phobia about a neck injury, because as a young kid, he got, I'm not sure how old he was, he got a knock to the head, don't know whether he was concussed, but someone picked him up and he could not play sport under doctor's orders for 6 months. So every time he gets a knock round the head, he just lies motionless until his neck's checked.
So there he is on the bench. Remus being spoken to by both doctors, and gee, they give great first aid care.
Phobia is only an extension of a normal fear. We're all scared of heights, it's just how high. When we're all claustrophobic, it's just how deep, how dark, how tight. Among the group, people who are petrified of a flu vaccine, yet they'll run into a pack. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but they're very real.
And Doc Reed's on the phone to the coach's box just behind him there, you can see. So they're still trying to decide what they're going to do there.
He did get a hit in the eye, and he had trouble seeing to the right out of his left eye only, and I said, that's it, he's not going on. But that was to protect his eye in case, you know, he could have had a retinal hemorrhage, he could have had anything. So that was putting the welfare of the player first, but nothing to do with concussion. There's no restriction on him this week. No restriction whatsoever.
I'm very pleased to say that Jobe Watson, the Bombers captain, is our guest this week. That St Kilda game was a tough one for all. They played really well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. It was a tough physical game, and they played to their system and structures, and they were too good for us. It's
probably the best they've played for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, we've played against them a few times and had a reasonably good record against them of late. But you know, to credit to them, they sort of executed, obviously, a plan, and they were too good for us on the night.
Well, that result aside, it's been a wonderful year for you in particular. You're playing some really good footy. Career best form? Yeah,
I think that I was able to get a good pre-season, had the continuity for a couple of years, and then I think that as the midfield group particularly starts to develop more, the game sort of becomes a little bit easier for you as your teammates, you know, make it easier for you by the way that they can get the ball to you, and I think that we're sharing the load a lot more than what we have, so it's been an enjoyable game to play so far.
Statistically speaking, the numbers are quite compelling. Is that what you can measure yourself off, having a look at statistics in terms of clearances, etc., and where you're ranked in the AFL and judge yourself accordingly?
I think that I judge us on where we are as a group, and then, you know, there's some statistics that we can judge ourselves on as a group against other midfielders in particular. So you look at you know, wins and losses, and then you can sort of break that down into midfield groups.
First in the league for clearances. Do you pride yourself on that?
Yeah, we look at, you know, obviously winning the contest on the inside, and an important part of that is clearances and contested football. And then, you know, those clearance differential and scores from clearances are things that we value pretty highly.
And you've kicked 15 goals this year too.
Yeah, spending a little bit more time forward, which is nice, sort of a throwback to what I used to do when I was a bit bigger.
And so you've won plenty of fans because of the way you're playing, coaches included. As we have a look there, the Coaches Association, you're leading their votes at the moment, as well as the voting of some scribes in Melbourne and around Australia. Is that reassuring? Does it kind of set you on the right track going into the second half of the year?
I think that the reassurances that you sort of crave are those from inside the football club and from your teammates. Obviously, to get recognised is nice, but I think that, you have a look at how people sort of act after a loss and how they act after a win, and internally we try to keep that very similar. And I think that when you're in an environment like that, they're the sort of messages that you want to hear, and they're the opinions that you value. You've
been skipper for 3 years now. Is that something that takes a while to grow into, and a role that evolves with time?
Yeah, I think it does. I think that it's something that you're continually getting better from, and you're continually learning about. There's things that I didn't know when I first started that now I do, and I think that's just a natural progression of the role and the type of role that it is.
What's the most important thing you do each week as skipper?
I try to play to a similar level. I think that, as a leader of the club, you have to be able to bring the same kind of performance every week, and when you can develop some form of consistency, I think that's really important for your teammates.
Well, stick with us, Jobe. We've got more to come.
Thanks, Jason.
I've been catching up with Killer for probably close to 8 or 9 years now. Killer's strapped my ankles for 13 years, and I guess initially, I'd just include Killer in a couple of dinners and things that we had going on, and it just sort of built from there, and ended up spending a lot of time with him, and we have a wonderful relationship now.
G'day, mate.
Good to see you.
You too.
Good on you.
How you going?
Dog's good to see you too. Come on in.
I'll put the kettle on.
Good on you. So what I do around the club now is I strap the ankles of players, and have done that for numbers of years. And the reason why I enjoy it immensely is it's the people that I'm involved with. The club itself has been terrific people to me, and I like to think that I've gone and given the service back to the club that they've given me over the years.
Kick goes into Hille, and Hille takes the mark. Here is Hille to stem the bleeding for the Bombers, more importantly. 30 metres out, kick on the way is good. And Hille kicks a big goal near half-time.
David Hille, to me, or Hilly as we call him, as that's the proper name, we see things very similar. His respect to me is immense. His help to me, because I have a hearing problem, is unbelievable.
I think the reason Kill and I have, struck up a friendship is just because, we just get along very well. We're both very loyal people, and we appreciate one another's company, and we look out for one another. He looks out for me as much as I do for him, and it's I really do appreciate it. Sort of once a week I'll catch up with Killer. Obviously sometimes more or not, but I just tend to come up to his place and hang out with him for a couple of hours, and both he and Rusty, and we might go for a walk or have a bite to eat or something like that. Yeah.
There he is. Right.
Chris Heffernan, he was in the States at the time, but David got in touch with him and said, look, I think we should buy Killer a dog.
It was an idea that we had some time ago now, and he gives John a bit of a hard time sometimes. But it's a good point of conversation for us both, and I think he also gives Killer a wonderful friendship other than myself.
I thought at the time, how can I devote a lot of time to the football club and other things that I was interested in if I got a little dog? But he's blended in with me, and he's a great little friend to me too. So I love the dog, and I appreciate the day they bought him for me. Here, go for a walk. Come on in, come on.
If I'm having a bad week or a bad day, I can come up here and have a cup of tea with John, and I know I'm not going to be judged at all or anything. It's just a genuine friendship that we have that's been born out of our love of football and being employed at the football club. So it does work that way for me.
Come on, there, little boy. David is the sort of a boy that doesn't like a tremendous amount of fuss made over him, whether it's within himself individually or with injuries.
Killer's one of many at our club who, we see week in, week out, day in, day out, really. I mean, Killer's there literally still every day at the age of 76, so he's doing, a power of work, and but I think he enjoys it, and it's as important as ever that we maintain those people at the football club, because things have changed even in my time, and the reality is football is run much more professionally, and very much a business mindset, and it's important that we don't lose people like John and others during that process.
There's a difference between a mate and a friend. I think a mate, you've got a lot of mates, but you only have one true friend. I couldn't wish for a better friend if I looked the kingdom come.
Tonight we just thought we'd come down and me and Gussie just check out a Melbourne Rebels game and see what they do behind the scenes.
Where does he hit? Is he looking for Danaher? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Western supporters are sitting at home at the moment going, and we actually just get to have him.